Okay, so Assalamualaikum everyone. So today I'm going to continue our discussion in the systemic functional framework. I believe it's a bit, I don't know, like, have you heard the term before? Have you taken the course functional grammar before? So basically, what I'm going to say is that when we use language, actual language represents one of ways in which we as human can behave, that is to perform a behavior acts. So usually, for example, when we try to greet someone or greeting someone, shaking hand, are you going to just like shake hands like that? I believe that you are going to say hello, hi, I am pleased to meet you, nice to meet you, and so forth. It means that language perform a behavior act. Okay, so whenever language is involved, we deal with the behavior. We deal with the verbal behavior. Okay. When we talk about verbal behavior of a language, for example, there are two behavior of a language, spoken and written. And according to Holiday label both written form or spoken form as a text, spoken text and written text. But the other researcher, they are going to say that it's going to be um, text is only used for written form, and discourse represents the spoken form. Okay, so it's just the two different definitions, text and discourse. And then what I'm going to say here, whenever language is used, it usually or always involves context of situation. You know, like you use this language because of this context. You use that language because of that context. Okay? Every context, for example, creates someone to use different language, right? When you, for example, like greet someone at your age, your friends, you are going to say hi. But if you are meeting a professor, for example, are you going to say hi, prof? You are going to say hello. Okay, so depends. So everything depends on the context of situations. When we talk about context of situation, we talk about register. Okay, and then in order to understand those things, in order to understand the meaning, actually language is interpreted. Okay, as fulfilling the number of different functions. So okay, before we discuss about additional, interpersonal, and textual, I'm going to ask you to think that sometimes it's not easy to guess what that the person means. Okay, because of what? Because we have to interpret, and then every individual they express different type of meaning. That's why as an individual we sometimes realize it or not, we try to interpret from every perspective, from the additional, interpersonal, and textual. What I mean here is that once, for example, someone's saying like this, you are going to interpret from kind of like the content. What does it mean, the content? It means that when you think like, oh, what does it mean? Or what the content means? When think about content, it means that you are doing the additional interpretation. Okay, because additional function provides the expression of our experience of the word as the factor or content element of what we said. Okay, and then not only about the content, sometimes we also think that, oh, why? Okay, usually, for example, if you are male and this probably the simple understanding, for example, you are male and female, or for example, you are watching Korean, sometimes you are, why Ajuma, oh, sorry, why Oppa says like this using different language, means that you are investigating the social relationship. Okay, so for example, you are attracted you are attracted with someone else, and then you are going to use this language, or this guy using this language, and then you are interpreting, oh, I know that probably the interpersonal is totally different. Okay, try to compare. For example, you talk with your professor. The social relationship would be you have like um different social status, different social relationship. That's why you are going to use the formal language. Once you investigating like that, try to use okay. The language is going to be like this, so we have big gap of interpersonal relationship. Okay, get it? And then the textual function allows us to organize what we say or what we write in a coherent and cohesive piece of text. So it's not only about like read that it is the type of it's written or spoken, but whether the spoken or the written is cohesively enough or coherently enough or not. Like if one sentence to the other sentence they are related or not. So when we talk about text like that, so it's not going to be possible if you jump from this item or this item, but you are going to discuss those components specifically later on. Okay. And then when we talk about the linguistic system, we also discuss about the systemic linguistic of grammar or linguistic system, which has three levels of strata. So once you investigate these things, you are going to investigate from the semantic meaning, okay, semantic, or you are going to investigate from the lexicogrammatical, it deals with the wording structure, and phonological, it deals with sounds pattern, or graphological stratums, it deals with the written pattern. So as you can see, semantic, it deals with the meaning of the text. Lexical grammar, what structure, phonology, it deals with sounds. Okay, I hope you understand uh, till that perspective. And then, so here, if you are using language between the situational context, you learn in register, and then in order to build the language, you are going to use meaning, you are going to use wording and sounds. Meaning is learned under semantic, wording learns under lexical grammar, and sounds under phonology. If, for example, it is spoken expression, it means that you have to learn more how to do the phonetic. Or another type is that still in order to achieve the register or situational context. But what makes it different is that meaning will be the umbrella of wording structure and sound structure. Compared to this, it is equal. There is no specific structure. But those, for example, it is spoken, then you have to understand the phonetics. Okay. For the context of situation, I would like to continue in my next video. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.